All right, Anonymous Hebrew, what's popping, bro?
Yo, peace, man. Peace.
Sonny, you could drop off because me and brother gonna build, man. We're gonna be like two brothers right now. All right.
We're just gonna build, like, you know.
All right, cool. All right, let me ask you this.
Let's get
Are you introduce yourself, by the way?
Yo, peace. You know what I'm saying? Everybody call me the Anonymous Hebrew. I guess
why they call you that? Or you made yourself that? Self-proclaimed anonymous.
Pretty much everybody gave me that because I kind of keep to myself. You know,
okay.
I kind of try to stay out of all the nonsense, but you know, I can't front. I've been in some before, but I try my best to stay out of it and I keep to myself. But I do proclaim to be an Israelite. We can get into that if you want. But
all right, do you claim to be Israelite by nationality or by faith?
Now, both. Now, my genetics are a little different from some of the other brothers. You know, I actually do have DNA that goes back to and connects to these. Like, you know, I've done the actual genetic research.
Who you did the test with?
I've done multiple. So I've done Ancestry. I've done 23&Me.
Okay.
I lined everything.
All right. So now, what does your 23&Me say?
So my 23&Me looks a lot like a lot of us in the slave trade, with the exception of I do have connection to the Levant.
Okay. How do you have connection to the Levant?
So my oldest form. So you get your trace DNA, and then you get, so with 23&Me especially, you get the you get a pattern, right? So how many? So I see your 23&Me up there. So like yours, mine's, you know, start in West Africa, and then it works its way back. And so unfortunately with 23&Me, a lot of times what we see happening, we get the broad spectrum. But then when I get to like a JED match situation and we're trying to narrow down the tribes, I have a high amount of what we would call Yemenite Jew and Ethiopian Jew. And the same thing we see in my 23&Me. My trace DNA goes directly to the Levant. It doesn't go anywhere else.
All right. So let me ask you this. This is my 23&Me. Let me show the audience, right? This is my ancestral composition, right? Now it says paternal here. This is my paternal, right? Now, what does your paternal say? Right here. What does it say right here?
Mine would be E-M180, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's not gonna say E-M180. Well, go ahead, take your time and find it. We need to talk about it.
You say mine does not say E-M180.
No, it's not gonna say E-M180. Yeah, it's not gonna say that.
What would it say?
Because E-M180 is right here. It wouldn't say that.
Gotcha. Okay, you talking about
you understand? Okay. So it wouldn't. See, me now, I'm E-M180 too, but it's EM263.2, which is I'm closer to. So this is something from 10,000 years ago, showing that I'm connected to someone from 10,000 years ago with this E marker. So yours, you're gonna say EM180, but it wouldn't say EM180 right here at the beginning. So my paternal haplogroup is EM263.2. As our ancestors ventured out of East Africa, they branched off in different groups. They crossed and recrossed the globe over tens of thousands of years ago. All right. Yeah. So now, if you are EM180, just to let you know, just based on that alone, you're not connected to the Levant.
Never. You saying never?
All right. No, I'm just saying you're not connected to the Levant. If you're EM180, you're not.
So you're saying
because I'm gonna tell you why. Because before EM180 is EM96. So you see the time? 73,000 years ago. So even if you are connected to DE, right? DE goes all the way back to A, which is the oldest one. Now, so I'm saying to you is,
before you go any further, you see EM96, and that has a migration pattern into the Levant based on the map.
Right, but listen to what I'm saying though.
Whoa, hold on. I'm gonna listen, but
okay. Go ahead.
I just want to be educated. You know what I'm saying? Like, treat me like I'm a babe at this point.
No, we both learners. We both students of this. Right. Go ahead. Make your point.
So with EM96, and we see that clear cut trace to the Levant region.
EM96 right here. Right. I like that. See right there. I pressed on it so that people could see it. EM96 goes into the Levant. But listen to this though. Remember, we deal with the out of Africa theory, right? So the out of Africa theory, of course, people got to go into the Levant because that's one of the ways out of Africa, So it's automatic. And at that time, it's not called the Levant. There's no such thing as the Levant. So now, people can go.
Now we changing though.
No.
What we call it.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. 73,000 years ago, there's no thoughts of a Hebrew or anything.
Gotcha.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, Bill. Bill, I want to hear you.
No, so here's my only point. Like, so, as it pertains to really narrowing down genetics to this nature,
some good news.
The conversation that we need to have is population groups and things like this. Like, where are we getting our samples from? Where are we getting the sample sizes from? Like, how are we?
Can I get the good news?
I'm gonna let the brother finish his convo because I don't want to have to repeat it.
All right, hold on a second, family.
Yeah, you got it.
Hold on a second.
And so that's always my only conversation is how do we determine migration patterns in terms of today, right? So if my DNA shows an influx of, okay, I ended up in West Africa, but I clearly see migration patterns from East Africa and from what we would consider Moorish territory. And, you know, I have all of these traces and connections to a Yemenite Jew or an Ethiopian Jew or all of these various sects of Jews. Why am I now to throw that away, right? Like, why do I see a genetic connection to the people who we would consider to be, quote unquote, like we said, Ethiopian Jew? Why is that null and void? I think that's what some of us are asking. I can't speak for everybody's DNA. I don't know what they look like. I'm speaking for mine at this point. Mine has connections even to what we would call Ashkenazi Jew. I even see connections to them.
Let me say this. I see what you're saying. What the brother is saying is something that Tamika brought up the other day, that we shouldn't avoid being who we are. Now, the issue here is this for me. E-M180 is not a concern of mine.
Got you.
Because that's a haplotype or haplogroup by itself.
Got you.
E-M180 is not even a concern of mine. My concern is, for the last 400 generations, what has been my paternal haplogroup?
Got you.
2,000 years, which is something that we could talk about, which we can't even fathom because the human being can't even live to be 100. So, on a regular basis. So, thinking about 10,000 years is even crazy. But the same haplogroup that I carry on my paternal side is the same haplogroup that was around 10,000 years ago in West Africa. And the problem is, this EM2 right here is its own separate haplogroup, which most African Americans and people in the Caribbean carry. So this is who I am. All right. My paternal line is E, totally E.
Mm-hmm.
Now, E traces back to DE, which goes back to 76,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not interested in that. Because, hold on. You see,
no, I hear you. I just want to have a good conversation, though.
Yeah, look at this on the screen. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit so people at home could see this. And what we got to look at with the EM180, we got to look at this right here. This EM180, you're talking about 73,000 years ago.
Gotcha.
We don't need to consider that. What happened is this branch of E went westward. When it went westward, it had a branch off that went to further down the south, and some went down to the central part of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
This part here in West Africa now, it mutated at this point. So it's a whole different human being right here.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, too, and let me say this: if you don't believe in evolution, technically we shouldn't be talking about DNA, because DNA.
I don't teach any of them.
I know. That's what I'm saying. DNA is proof of evolution.
Got you.
All right.
Some form of mutation, right? Especially when you're dealing with a Y haplotype. That's how you get a form of mutation, right?
Hold on, my brother. EM180 mutated in West Africa. So these people have been here the whole time. They've been in West Africa. So this marker here has nothing to do with the people who eventually ended up in the Levant. These people now, there's a whole different marker that comes after. You have the E, F, G, H, I, J markers. Those J markers entered around 30,000 years ago. And those people mutated, because remember, when you mutate to a different and become, it has to do with the environment you're in and where you're located. These people adapted to that region and they developed that marker. We are not that anymore. We have nothing to do with that. We come out of the E branch. If you want to say everybody comes from A and we all one human family, fine. But remember, the people who have the J marker is not us. Is not us at all. Now you, on your female side, and I'm just assuming, by the way, and you could correct me. I don't want to step over my boundary. I want you to look at this. Look at this right here. Look at the maternal root right now. Look at Garfield. This is my maternal. I'm L3AE3B1, right? Look at Garfield and where he went. Look at everywhere I went. I went to further down to where I was in Ethiopia. I was right here. I went up to where Egypt is, to where the Levant. I went to Yemen, exactly where you said a while ago, Garfield, I'm connected. But this is the maternal side. Nobody's disputing that. But look at this though. L3 went to the west. But I
just want to point out that you're dominating the conversation, so I'm letting you
dominate. Oh, okay. No. I wanted to point out something that you said earlier. Well, go ahead. If you want to talk, go ahead.
Okay, so let's just have a brief conversation. So, and if you could please, briefly, is it your contention then that everybody that is currently in West Africa, all these tribes that we see, that they've been there for let's just say 10,000 years? There hasn't been any migration or any type of influx of other people from the Levant in that area for the last 10,000 years. Is that your assertion?
My assertion.
That's a yes or no.
No. You can't. Don't box me that yes or no.
Oh, really?
What I will say is, let me give you a 30-second answer. If you look at my L3 marker, right, parts of L3 went to the west, right? The females on the female side. If you look at this right here, L3E is the marker that I come from, right? Now, if you look at this, it says African Americans, about 1/3 of Brazilians whose maternal lineages trace back to Africa in the slave trading era, an indication that their ancestors may have originated in Angola rather than the more common slave trading centers of the African West Coast. But look at this though, Garfield. 2,500 years ago, you became a part of a whole different maternal group that traces back 2,500 years ago. This goes back to generations showing that if the people from the Levant came from there or within my system, traveled wherever, it could tell you exactly where you came from and the time period, because there's something called the molecular clock. So this marker here, L3, of course is connected to a lot of people because everybody's L in the world. Every female is L, but which part of the L am I and what time period? It shows exactly where I came from.
Right. So I just want to point out. Hold on.
Let me finish. Hold on.
Come on, bro. Like, if you want to teach, I can fall off and let you teach or dialogue.
Beloved, hold on.
But you're monologuing, fam. God, thank you. Appreciate it. So here's my concern.
Let me see. Can I say one last thing, bro? On my own show. Can I say one last thing?
It is your show. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you got it.
The one last thing is, if there's migration of the people from the Levant, you would see it in the African DNA today. And it's not.
Okay, so I just want to come back to my original assertion or my original question, and I'm sorry I don't think you answered it. Like, my question was, are we saying that everybody that is in West Africa has been there for 10,000 years? And according to their oral traditions of many different tribes, that's not the case, right? Even according to when we break down our genetic breakdown, meaning why am I connected to Yemen? Why am I connected to Spain? Why would I be connected to all of these other areas, to East Africa, if my DNA has only been there for the last 10,000 years? Because if that's the case, I wouldn't see any genetic markers to other people who are spread out throughout the different parts of Africa, right? So that's the first conversation, right? Then the second conversation becomes, why would somebody like me who has connection to different parts of Africa look different from somebody who does have DNA that is specifically slated and been in West Africa the entire time, right? These become the concerns. I'm not saying right, wrong, and different, but I do find it kind of funny that when we're having the conversation, I can't get an answer as to if my DNA is only in West Africa, meaning according to your knowledge or what you're saying, because this DNA does not track back 10,000 years. I mean, we agree with that, right? Because they're getting the DNA from sourcing of population groups that they're collecting in all of these various regions.
Okay.
We do understand that, correct? So if they're getting...
Hold on one second. This is my... Hold on one second. This is my DNA, right?
So am I not allowed to finish?
Hold on, brother. I'm taking long. You taking forever too.
Bro, I talk for less than a minute. You talk for...
Go ahead, bro. Continue, bro. Continue.
Appreciate you. Right. So, and I'm be honest. Like, I can't want to talk to you about the Exodus. That's what I said in the chat.
We don't talk about that.
But we could play with the DNA because I dealt with it. So once again, my concern is this: like how you're scrolling through your DNA. If your assertion once again is that everybody only lives in West Africa and that's the only place where our DNA comes from, because that's what it sounds like you're saying, then we can't have connection to anywhere else. The reason we have connection to other places is because there's a migratory pattern that we all have to follow with our DNA, with our genetics. As it pertains to migration, we see some of us coming and stemming from East Africa. Like, my DNA shows a strong, heavy influence, the further back we go, to East Africa. And thus then these people migrate into West Africa. These are even the oral traditions, which I hope you wouldn't be brazen enough to throw away. The oral traditions of various tribes in all of these areas that are saying we migrated here from the Levant, or we migrated here from East Africa after migrating from the Levant, right? And I've heard you have these conversations with people. There is a migration pattern of how various tribes end up in West Africa. That's all I'm saying. Right. And if we want to pretend as though that doesn't happen, then that's fine. Of course, I'm going to be 80 to 85% West African. That's my most recent genetic DNA makeup. What we're talking about is, as we trace further back in the migration pattern, all of us are going to have various genetic makeups. And when that happens, we need to address the connections of those various tribes. Would you agree or disagree with that?
I disagree with everything that you just said. I'm gonna tell you.
Easy.
First of all, I never said every part of you come from West Africa. That is impossible. What it does tell you, your marker, the haplogroup you're from, in recent history, can trace your genetics. So for the last 10,000 years, you said they can't do it, right? You said they can't do that, right?
I didn't say you can't.
You just said it. You said that they can't go over 10,000 years. Show you.
I'm saying what I said was, hold on. If you're gonna quote me correctly. I said when they're taking genetics, hold on, bro. This is why people do shows on you. Hold on, I come in peace. I'm not coming here to fight. I'm telling you that when they're pulling this, all right, bro, you got it. Go ahead and shake my statement for me, because that's what you want to do. So go ahead, you got it, bro.
You're chipping out. You're chipping out. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're chipping out. Go ahead, continue.
I'm not even tripping. So what I'm saying is, as we deal with genetic makeup,
I said your voice is chipping out.
Oh, bad. Got you. I'm sorry. Am I clearer now? Am I clear?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay, bad. All I'm saying is, as we deal with genetics, they are pulling sample sizes from a current group of people that reside in these areas. You do understand that. So as we're pulling sample sizes from current DNA from people that reside in this area, then we have to address, number one, what those people are saying of how they got there. But number two, we can't say, oh, this is a 10,000-year-old genetic marker or whatever the case may be, when these people don't have a 10,000-year understanding of where they come from. What they do have is traditions and oral traditions of where they come from. So if you're telling me that genetics from people who are snatching sample sizes from people who have ended up in an area, if you're telling me that that is the end-all be-all, then I do have a pushback, right? Because the concept of genetic migration or migration pattern has to be addressed and established, and I don't hear that as it pertains to us reframing African migration. I don't hear that from us as a people a lot of times. We're not addressing migration patterns. We're just saying, oh, well, you're here, so you're West African. None of us are denying that. But
I think I don't know if you're being disingenuous on purposely, but watch this. If you're saying that you are West African, I'm sub-Saharan African, 87.1%, according to 23&Me, right? West African, 80.6. I did over 8 DNA tests. I did National Geographic. I did 23&Me. I did Ancestry.com. I did African Ancestry. I did, what's the other one? The L1, whatever. Pretty much all of them are saying I'm West African, between 80% to 92%. Now, watch this, though. You said that, I'm not saying that everybody's West African. You see, the issue is, the word that we need to figure out in our minds is molecular clock. Now, if you look at my DNA, it's 87.1% sub-Saharan African, right? But I'm 12.5% European. How is my Y lineage 12.5 European? How do we know this?
Explain that to me. That's what I'm asking you.
Explain this, okay, because of what's called the transatlantic slave trade. Because remember, this DNA right here that we're seeing is actually an admixture. This is the autosomal DNA. If I want to know what's on my Y lineage, all I need to do is look at my paternal haplogroup. If I want to know what's on my mtDNA, the woman side, all I got to do is look at my maternal group. It's LE3B1 or whatever. Right here, I'm EM2. Now, if anyone is watching, if you have EM2, you are in the last 10,000 years. Now, watch this. Look at the screen now.
Wait, time out. Help me.
No. Hold on.
Bro, hold on. We got to build. I need help.
I know. Hold on.
Explain to me. Just explain real quick what you mean when you say you are the last 10,000 years. Are you saying then that those people
right here?
Hold on, bro. Come on. Let's have a conversation.
I'm showing you.
Let's just have a conversation. Hold on. I'm extremely calm. Let's just conversate. When you say you are the last 10,000 years, are you saying then that the subset of you that has the 80% West African DNA, that has been in West Africa for the last 10,000 years? That's a simple question, yes or no?
Yeah, more than likely, yes, because of the EM2. Because guess what? This we gotta understand. I think where we get mixed up is this. This is what I was about to say before you had stopped me. This that you see on the screen, whenever you see this and you're reading your DNA to 23&Me, right? You're reading the autosomal DNA. So this is saying the mixture, meaning that your grandparents, the mixture of the middle. I'm going to give a quick example. Hold on. Let me look at something real quick. Family and friends. Let's look at family and friends real quickly. I'm going to go to family and friends, right? And if you look at my family and friends list, see all relatives. Look at this. I want y'all to see something real quickly. This is the DNA relative. This is my first cousin that I found on 23&Me, right? I actually found him on Ancestry.com also. If you look at this, right, how am I connected with him? If you look, he's considered my first cousin because guess what? My parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, grandparents had sex. Boom, boom, boom. He's very close to me, first cousin. So this guy's DNA is we share 5.7% DNA or whatever, right? And if you look at him, he got more sub-Saharan than me, less European, less more West Asian. He could claim Jew, right? 0.2% West Asian. All right. So now look at this though. The thing that we have in common only that we see is the L. But on this report, based on the autosomal DNA, we share 5%. All right. Now look at this now. Let me go back to the ancestry overview again.
And I just want you to know that I'm timing you because you're dominating the conversation. And it's your show, so I'm gonna be respectful.
Hold on. All right. Now, when you see the percentages, let me do this real quickly again. When you see the percentages, and everybody needs to look at this carefully. When you see Garfield 100%, you are looking at the autosomal DNA. So this map is telling me everything about me. The Caribbean, West Africa.
Whoa. That's also a fact. So have you done your GED match? Yes or no?
Hold on. No, I haven't done my GED match yet.
Right. So wait, bro. Wait. Come on, Garfield. Come on, bro.
Can I just make this point? And
you've been making the same point though. Like, is it your goal to dominate the conversation, or is it your goal to conversate?
Bro, can I break something down real quick?
That's what I figured.
Just relax, man. Just relax.
I'm extremely relaxed. I love how y'all try to do this.
Now,
I'm not screaming. I'm just trying to wonder on why you ask somebody onto your panel.
Oh, come on, bro.
Don't have a conversation,
bro. Just relax.
Go back and watch your game film. You'll see you didn't let me talk.
All right, no problem. All right, well, you're talking now. All right.
I'm trying to find a way to have a conversation.
You did. All right, cool. All right. So
I can sit in the chat and let you teach me.
Bro, just let me talk, man. Right. No, this is the
Why are you getting mad?
I'm not getting mad. The autosomal DNA. The autosomal DNA is basically the admixture, right? This is showing me all over the planet Earth, right? This right here is primarily where my DNA comes from in the autosomal mix. It has other parts of the world, like what you call it, Europe and so forth. All right, you see down here with the European 12.5%, Ashkenazi Jew 3.9%. You don't see me running around claiming that. But this is what I wanted to show you guys real quickly. So we have the autosomal that tells us the admixture. Then we have the maternal group that tells me who I am as far as my female side and the years of where they are. Then you have the other side, which is the paternal. So if I want to know who I am based on the paternal alone, I just go to the report and do what I have to do. And there you have it. It tells me where I'm from, what time period and everything. I'm not interested in E-M180, 73,000 years ago. I'm not interested. I'm not interested even in E-M180. I'm interested in 10,000 years up until now. That's going to tell me who I am right now, the last 10,000 years, and who I trace. It says your paternal haplogroup traces back to a man who lived approximately 10,000 years ago. That's nearly 400 generations. That's what we need to concentrate on. There's no Israel at the time. There's no Bible at the time. In fact, there's no man in the Bible at the time running around the place. So at this point, we're stepping out of the realm of the biblical text, and we're now dealing with science. Go ahead, brother.
Great, thank you. Do me a favor. Go to your ancestry composition, right? So, like, here's my question. Once again, because I for whatever reason, I'm not getting an answer. So maybe I'm just, I'm special, right? So just help me out. I'm trying to understand once again, if you're saying we've been, oh my God. If you're saying we've been in West Africa for the last 10,000 years, and you're saying the only reason we have any mixture is because of the slave trade, why do we see the connection, especially when you do the GED match, of various African tribes? Like, for instance, why am I so connected to the Limba? Why am I so connected to the Khoisan, even the further back I go? But you're telling me that I've only been in West Africa for the last 10,000 years. Or if you go to your ancestry timeline, so if you go to your composition match, you go to your ancestry timeline, right? So if you go, so let me make sure, because I'm looking at mine. So if you can do me a favor, right? You can share your screen again. Go to your ancestry timeline. Can you do me a favor and bring it back in for me? You there, Garfield? The brother dipped them. Okay, that's cool. So everybody, there we go. So yeah, so scroll down to ancestry timeline, right? Keep going down, 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 keep going, keep going. It should be down at the bottom. There we go. Ancestry timeline. Keep going down, keep going down, keep going down. All right. So now we get to this Senegambian, then we get to Spanish, Portuguese, we get to British. You spend a lot of time in Europe. I'm just gonna point that out. Mine don't look like yours. I just want to point that out. Mine don't look like that, right? The further down I go, the more African I am, right? And it's not West Africa, right? So if I look at my ancestry composition in my timeline, I have Ghanaian, Liberian, Sierra Leone, Nigerian, Senegambian. I have British, Irish, and then now I go Angolan, Southeast African, Indonesian, Native American, Scandinavian, and Sudanese, right? So my question then is, if you're telling me I've been in West Africa for 10,000 years, why does my migratory pattern show that I have not been in West Africa for 10,000 years?
All right. Now I'm gonna ask you one last time.
It's a simple question. Can you answer?
Hold on.
So you're not here to answer any of my questions. I'm here to answer all of them.
Down, bro, because you're talking like you're right, and I don't need to say nothing. So
that's not what I'm saying. No, I'm having
a simple question. Your marker says EM. You agreed with me, says EM2, and then now you're gonna come and lie and say Garfield. Listen to me. Don't interrupt. Garfield. How it doesn't say Angola. How could you not have West African if you have EM2? You see what you're doing is stop. You talk. It's my turn to talk now. Listen to what I'm saying.
I don't understand why you're trying to reframe what I'm saying and why you're yelling.
Garfield, Congolese and Southern East African. My brother, again, this is the admixture. This is the autosomal. If you want to know who's your father and your father's father, you go again to paternal. Obviously, you're not listening. I showed it just a while ago.
Listening very well.
Because if you were listening,
okay, then my oldest father, then by that concept, hold on, hear me out. Then by that concept, then by that concept, my oldest father would be Sudanese.
My brother.
By that reckoning. Listen,
hold
on, I'm going on what you're saying.
My brother.
I don't understand why we can't. I don't understand why we can't converse.
Hold on. What's the difference?
I don't understand why we can't converse, man.
What is the difference? Paternal.
Did I come on hostile to you? Did I come on like?
This is how I talk. I'm asking.
No, I understand. I'm just trying to have a conversation.
Listen to what I'm saying to you.
I'm not allowed to talk.
I'm asking a simple question. I'm asking.
I asked you a question.
The question doesn't make sense if you were listening.
Hold on, but according to your reason,
bro, you don't understand DNA. You can't understand DNA. Ask that question.
I guess.
I just told you your paternal group, your autosomal group, and maternal group is on 23&Me. Your autosomal group is going to show admixture from Greenland to Australia to wherever. That's not you. That's the admixture in between. What are you talking about? Your paternal lineage show you your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather, your great-great-grandfather. That's the most important. That's why I asked you what you were. You said EM26. The conversation was over. Once you said
EM180.
No, you're not EM180. You are EM26 or something less, because EM180 is all the way up here. This is 17,000 years ago. There's something after that. So you can't be EM180. What? As a matter of fact, why don't you pull it out for us?
Now I'm going to show y'all my DNA.
Oh, look at that. You see? So now if you're EM180, though, look at what it says for EM180. EM180 is most common today among speakers of Bantu languages and those related to them. It reaches levels of 90% among the Mandinka and Yoruba of Western Africa, where the migrations began. Farther from their origin, EM180 reaches frequencies of 50% or higher in the Hutu, Sukumu, Hiru, and Xhosa. And by the way, you're claiming Lemba because you want to say you are a Jew. Do you know why they say the Lemba are?
I'm not saying any of that.
No. You brought it up for a reason.
No, I also brought up.
I'm asking a simple question. Why would you claim the limbo? Why are you claiming limbo?
I didn't just claim. I didn't claim limbo. I claimed several different tribes of African origin in my DNA. I said Yemenite Jew. I said Ethiopian Jew. I brought out the Khoisan.
But in the audience, has a question for you, right?
Okay, so just so I'm clear, so
hold on, no. The person is asking you right now. Can you tell us what your paternal haplogroup is?
Well, my paternal or maternal?
Paternal.
Paternal right now is E-M180. That's my paternal haplogroup.
Your paternal can be E-M180, bro.
What do you mean?
What does it say? What does it say to your DNA, bro?
Let me bring all this up.
Hey, what's up, Ngozi?
What's up, bro? What's going on?
I'm trying to understand why I'm not allowed to speak, but you can laugh.
Nobody's saying anything, man. Come on.
Okay.
The question.
I got you.
Tell us what you are and what it says on the report.
I'm telling you, my paternal haplogroup, it says, Sadekwa, your paternal haplogroup is E-M180. And you're telling me that can't be.
All right.
No. You just said it can't be.
No, bro. You got to go all the way down. Everybody that take this test and say EM180 is to go all the way down. Go all the way down, bro. Go past where it says origins of your migration. Go all the way down to who you are. Your subclade now, not the base root of EM2. That's the base root of EM2 when it first mutates into EM180 in the Green Sahara. Go down to your subclade. Further down.
So I got E-M180, I got E-M96, I got DE-145.
No, you're going backwards. Go down, King.
My most recent haplogroup is E-M180.
Okay, so where could you?
Wait, whoa. First off, let's acknowledge that y'all told me that that's not my most recent, and I'm telling.
No, I'm not asking you that, King. I'm asking
that's
you.
Exactly
Could you pull it up? Could you pull it up?
Let's do it.
Is this your test or Garfield test?
That's Garfield's test.
Could you pull yours up, King?
I'm trying to understand how y'all invite a person onto the joint and not talk. Like,
no, you can talk, King. I'm just trying to figure something out.
No, let's be honest. You got to be honest, and you won't allow me to talk. Let's be honest. Are you gonna be honest, or are you all gonna play games? I didn't come on with no static. I came on trying to talk, and the brother don't want me to talk. I find it weird. I find it extremely weird.
But it's still hostile energy. It's still you look at the people opposed to your belief.
Hostile towards y'all. I'm not.
It's still hostile.
No, y'all hostile. I'm extremely.
No, you hostile too, bro. Don't act. We not friends. Ain't none of us friends. We disagree with you, and you disagree with us.
Be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. I'm friends with all Africans. I can't.
Okay. But let me, hey, bro, pull up your DNA, King.
Right now, you still don't want to let me talk.
No, hey, you can talk, King. I just want
me to talk.
Hey, I'm gonna let you talk. I mean, go ahead, King. I'm listening.
No, you're not.
Go ahead.
Let me bring it up. You make something right. Y'all don't want me to talk. It's good. I wouldn't want me to talk either. I guess I did something wrong.
Shit, go ahead and talk, bro. You got the flow.
I find it weird that y'all won't let me talk. So
yeah, you got the opportunity to build now, King. You got the flow.
Let's go.
But while you looking for your results, I want to let you know.
Y'all can see my joint, right?
I can't see it, King.
You can't see it right now?
No, sir.
I'm sharing screen with you.
Hey, Garfield, could you take yours down and let the brother pull his up? There you go, King. Pull it up.
Bet. So my paternal haplogroup. Your paternal haplogroup is E-M180. See that?
Okay. Go down.
So the brother told me that first off, I want you to acknowledge that he told me that wasn't my haplogroup. I want to point that out. Can we acknowledge that?
I didn't hear what he said, bro. I want you to go there.
Bet. So let's see. So now let's get into what I was asking him. And then since you're the expert, because I've heard you talk about this several times, right?
Uh-huh.
Let's do this. Let's get into this. Can you explain this part for me? Because this is what I was asking him about, was the timeline, right? How do we...
Hold on a second, my youth. Go back to the page you was before, the M180 page. Let's go back to that real quick. Go back to that page.
Can you acknowledge that you said that wasn't my haplogroup?
Hold on a second. We're gonna look.
Acknowledge that, though.
Hold on a second. We're
You're
gonna
not gonna acknowledge it? I wouldn't acknowledge it.
Go ahead. Hold on. Hold on 1 second before you scroll down. Scroll back up a little bit. Stop right there. Scroll up a little bit. All right. So you're 85% sub-Saharan, 72% West African. You have Southeast African here, and all of this stuff here is autosomal, though.
Correct.
Autosomal. Now, do me a favor now, my brother. Go to your where it shows your haplogroup or your what you call it, your E-M180 that you said you were.
What do we go to? Overview? Is that what we go to?
Paternal marker. Where you was just at.
Composition, yeah, right.
Composition, right?
Yeah. Hold on a second.
Its composition is autosomal. All you gotta do is go down to his paternal, where it says paternal and maternal.
Right. I don't think it's on this page.
No, he was just there. He just showed it.
Yeah, go back to go to all ancestry reports. The next one, the second one.
Yeah, hold on 1 second, man.
Why would it say E-M180 though? That's kind of confusing.
Now, you know, a lot of Bantu speakers in Cameroon, a lot of them have it as well, and some Mandinka. You know, E-M180 could be a paternal marker that some have, because it's not just to the early green. Bantu speakers have it too.
In a minute. All right. So what we looking at now?
Your paternal marker, King.
All right.
Right there where it says paternal, yeah.
So, like I told you, so my joint is E-M180. And like
Scroll down a little bit. Scroll down a little bit.
Told me that it would be impossible.
Stop right there.
Brother told me that it would be impossible for me to have no.
All right, cool. I take that back. All right.
So I want you to retract that part first, right? So here's the only point that I was asking, because like I said, I didn't come on with no DNA smoke. You want the DNA smoke. So my point is this, and since Ngozi on here, I want to understand, because I even heard you say there is no real Jewish haplogroup. I heard you say this several times, and I agree with you, right? So my issue is this, and I could point out my scholastic resume if I really wanted to. I find it funny that the brother Garfield is saying the things that he's saying and acting as if migration pattern does not play a role in where we are. And that's my only concern at this point. Talk to me about why we, especially when some of us do our JED match, and I ain't even got to talk about no limba and all of this, right? Just period, as it pertains to migration patterns. Why don't we see only West African, right? Many of us, and I'm sure some of y'all, if you did your JED match, and I would hope that at least Ngozi has done his JED match, because from what I've heard, the only person that's qualified to even have these conversations would be him. Garfield is all over the place, if I'm being honest, right? So as it pertains to migration patterns, we clearly see a lot of us come from West or from East Africa, right? That's as you start to roll back and go backwards in your DNA.
Repeat that, King. My internet slowed down. Could you repeat that?
I'm sorry. So yeah, my concern is that why do most of us that are having these right? We don't see a West African only. We see migration from East Africa to West Africa.
Okay. Can I answer your question? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you, because Garfield's being disingenuous.
Okay, go ahead.
Hold on 1 second. This is the problem. Your ultimate.
Why can't I have the conversation?
Hold on, my brother. Let me talk, because you mentioned my name. You see, the problem is when you are an Israelite claimant, your ultimate goal is to be Israel. I basically just showed this dude on the screen. This is why I know you're not listening and you just here to say, I know everything. I just showed. Stop, bro. Why are you talking?
Because you're lying on me.
Relax, bro. And if I'm lying, you're going to get the chance to respond. Now, look at it, family. I said earlier, you have paternal, maternal, and autosomal. Autosomal is going to have everybody and their mama. You're not going to have straight. Didn't white folks sleep with us during slavery? This is just ridiculous. Why would we only have West African DNA? That makes absolutely no sense. It's crazy. So for you to come on here and say, "Oh, I want to learn," you think you already learned. The point is, with E-M180, let me finish. You already killed yourself because we know what your paternal lineage is. You can't run to the Lemba. We know who you are, so you can't run. So you are not the last 10,000 years or 17,000 according to your DNA. You've been part of the West African milieu. Whether you migrated from one part to another, you've been in that area. You can't run around now. Now somebody who has connected to somebody else, who connected to somebody else in your Order Seminole is mixed, but you are West African. That's who you are. Now,
okay. Can I build with Ngozi real quick? I appreciate your statement. Can I build with Ngozi real quick?
Here's the thing, King. So EV38, which is the first branch of E1B1A.
Exactly. Let's go to roots. Let's go to roots.
Yeah, okay, so EV38, which splits from EP2 or E1B1, that developed in East Africa. But as you migrated somewhere down around the wet Sahara, green Sahara, around 30 bands ago, or possibly 19 bands ago, which is 19,000, you developed the M2 clade. Now here's the thing. It's another branch of E1B1A that's still in East Africa, but it's absent of M2. It's called E1B1C. Look it up. So here's the thing. Or E1B1A2. You're E1B1A1. So your subclade or your marker mutated in early green Sahara when it was green before the third phase of the Holocene glacier period. So it was in the northern part for a long time. Now, if you migrated south in the when the other phase of the Holocene glacier period, there was no Bantus and no Mandinka and no Yoruba. That's why when they went back in time recently and went back to Cameroon 8,000 to 9,000 years ago, they said the markers that the Bantu speakers have today was absent over there. No E was there. What was your E? Your E was in the early green Sahara, where you find that early Tassili cave art in southern Algeria, southern Tunisia. It was around those areas. But your EM2, based off recent findings of sickle cell, a large chunk of your ancestry goes back to Western Central Africa. So here's the thing. West Africans are hybrids too. There's a lot of mixing, a lot of adaptation.
Hey, hold on. Explain that. Say that. West Africans are what?
West Africans are hybrids too.
What does that mean? Now, exactly, brother. That's my point. Explain that.
They're mixed. They're not. It's not a straight line. They're mixed with early hunter-gatherer populations.
Thank you. So here was my only point. While everybody is trying to red herring and do all this extra, my only point is, because Garfield said that I've been in West Africa for the last 10,000 years, according to him, right? My question, and even to you, if you want to answer it, why do I see so much East African genetic composition when I do my JED match? That's a fair answer. Is that not, first off, is that not a fair question? Yes or no?
It's a fair question, but I want to answer why. What's going on? So here's the thing, King. When you take your raw data and put it inside a JED match, you got Ethio helix, you got the European thing that shows you what portions of you come from the Caucasus. The thing about JED match is that it goes back further in time. So here's the thing. When you take a test with 23&Me or Ancestry DNA, that's based off national population or regional populations that live in those zones today. Now, it's like, for example, when a North African take that DNA test, it'll tell the Berber from North Africa that he's 90% North African. And he run around here attacking people like, yeah, I'm the real North African. But when he put his DNA test in JED match, it goes back further in time and takes his raw data. Then he finds out that no, he's partially Neolithic European from a pre-Anatolian population that settled in North Africa 7,000 years ago, and partially indigenous North African. Partially. But it's been blended for so long in those zones. When he take the DNA test on the surface level from 23&Me, nationalistically, it'll tell him that he's 90% North African. So here's the thing.
So, I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying, just hopefully y'all understand I'm trying to be cool, right? So,
yeah, I got you.
So when you say a North African, are you basically saying just because his most recent DNA would show that he's North African, that does not mean that he doesn't have composition from somewhere else? That's correct, yes or no?
His composition to be based off surface populations today, but when he put it
in stop right there. Stop. That was my entire point, family. We are getting genetic information from surface populations that are living in these areas at this current time? Yes or no?
Absolutely. But hold
on, back to my point, and then I'm gonna turn it over. So that means that they could have migrated to those areas from other areas. Hence why you have several anthropologic PhD scholars saying that we need to adhere to at least some of these tribes' oral traditions about where they originate from. Is that true? Yes or no?
Partially it is, because it's a blended.
Thank you for being honest.
But I never denied that. That's what I teach. That's what I teach. But here's the thing, and yes, you are portions of your ancestors. Go ahead.
1 second. If you read Studies of the Bible and its Inception by David M. Goldberg, Black Enslaved, The Origins and the History of the Curse of Ham, that has absolutely changed. Because what it is, Robin Law and others who are the anthropologists that deal with West African oral traditions disagree 100% with what he just said. And I'm going to show it on the screen in a second. You see, what happened is anthropologists, it depends on what time period you're dealing with anthropologists. Old anthropologists said that they'll say that the oral traditions are correct because they're telling us that these people were white people before and they became black. Most of the oral traditions, or if you go into these cultures, they are pushing that they were white people first. The Igbo. The Igbos are lying. They lying. You are correct depending on the time period of your scholarship, Anonymous Hebrew. But today's scholarship, today's scholarship, which I'm going to show on the screen right now, disagree 100%. When I say 100%, 100%. You know why? The Yoruba is a perfect example. The Yoruba has over like 8 different oral traditions of where they come from.
Yeah.
They say they come from the city of Nimrod.
They say they come from Arabia. They say they come from Arabia too.
May I participate in this conversation or not?
None of them.
I didn't think I could participate in that.
Before Islam came in, Islam is actually one of the main reasons for all these traditions, by the way. They even claim, the Yoruba people even claim they come from one of Prophet Muhammad's ancestors.
The Mandinka too. The Mandinka lie and say that too.
Okay, so can I just say this? Can I just ask this question?
Go ahead.
Just real quick. So when you say the Yoruba, we act as though there's only one Yoruban tribe. Like, so this is, and I'm trying to be respectful, please. Like
Anonymous Hebrew.
Hold on. Just hear me out. As it pertains to all of these tribes, we have several different tribal groups within the Yoruba. We have several different groups within the Limba. We have several different groups within the Hausa, 7 different groups within the Dagger. I can just start throwing out tribe after tribe. So my question, so this is why you would have different origin stories. Each tribe is going to have their oral tradition. Now, I'm not saying that that's 100% right. The only point that I'm making is the brother said that the only thing that I can be is 100% West African. But when we start to do something like that's what you said, bro. Come on.
Hey, Anonymous Hebrew, I wanted to answer your question, King, of what you was talking about.
Well, hold on a second, Jose. Hold on 1 second. We need to straighten out this. When did I say you were 100% West African?
When I asked you, are you telling me that the only place that I can be is West Africa according to the last 10,000 years? You said yes.
On your paternal side, yes.
Okay. The reason
on your paternal side, but this is what you're doing.
I'm having a conversation, bro. I'm literally having a conversation. You're trying to place words in my mouth. That's what you're trying to do. It's amazing how me and Ngozi can have a great conversation, but you don't.
Listen. I'm not going to talk over anybody, right? Now, you asked me for the last 10,000 years on your paternal side, would I say you was in West Africa? Yes, and I still stand on that. Because even if you're E-M180, it says it in your report. It does say that E-M180 has been here for 17,000 years. I don't have to say it. Your DNA report says it.
Okay, so is it okay if I speak to Ngozi? I'm not trying to act funny on your show. Like, this is your show.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm trying to be respectful in your house, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
All right, appreciate you. Peace, King Ngozi. So as we deal with migratory patterns, and this is really the only conversation I want to have. Is it safe to say that we need to explore all of our migratory patterns to figure out were we all just kicking it in West Africa, or we need to figure out how we got to West Africa? Is that a yes or a no?
So yeah, we have to excavate and absorb more based off what West Africans are. And the reason why a large chunk of your ancestors is absent from West Africa, a large portion of you, that's why when you put it in jam match, it goes back further in time. So a large portion of you goes back to Mesolithic West Africans. It'll say Mesolithic West Africans. Right. And then another part you'll go to Paleo-Saharic Northern Africans. Right. So the thing is that because we are a blended situation, regionally and nationalistically, it'll say on the surface West African. But if you take it back further in time, it breaks down the portions of you that come from different zones. You know, even with your European ancestors. If you agree. Let me just say this. If you put your European ancestry in jam match, it'll say, okay, for example, it'll say you 10% British or 5% British on the surface. But when you put that British DNA on jam match, it takes them back to the Anatolian area, the Mesolithic Europeans, and the population from the Russian steppes that make them up. So even their DNA goes further and further back when you put their portion in.
Gotcha. See, again. So, quick, just one more quick question, and I appreciate you for tolerating my lack of knowledge.
You know some. I'm listening to you.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
Exactly. So my next question then would be, as we are tracking migration patterns, right? Not all of us have the same migration patterns. That's all we're saying. And so when you ask any honest, quote unquote, person that proclaims to be a Hebrew Israelite, if they're intelligent, they are not saying that we were just all Hebrew Israelites. They are saying that my DNA would trace back. The further I go back, it has a connection to the Levant. That's all.
It'll go back to a base population that was partially connected to the early what they call Mesolithic Egyptian. But here's the thing: in common thread with Natufians, who were partially connected to Ibero-Maurutians, who were partially going further back connected to the Haflin cultures, who were partially connected or the predecessors of the Capsians, who were partially going all the way back to the Morshabians in East Africa. But here's the thing: Israelites, or I'm just saying, I'm not speaking in the sense of theology. I'm speaking in the sense of understanding the basis of this population. Right. Israelites, not proto-phases of populations that's connected, because you got to go back 10,000, 30,000. Remember, E1B1A and EM215 split from E1B1 or EP2 around 40 bands ago. Right. So here's the thing. Now, when it comes to these Hebrews, the Israelites, this is a Bronze Age populations. And like, for example, when you look at and I'm not saying that they were all, again, they were a mixed multitude as well. So we're talking about, it was a bottleneck with the Natufians. The Natufians kind of like died out, and it was a reduction of their population. Some of them even went back into Africa, primarily the Horn of Africa. This is why you find certain snips that's connected. Now, when these Bronze Age populations is coming, some of these people are pre-Armenian populations and also early Iranian populations. Later on, you find the so-called Israelite faith start to develop. So, but you get what I'm saying? So it's like you
100% understand, right?
You predate that.
Here's my only concern is to say 100% that you know for a fact that a tribe of people or a certain group of people do not descend from that region. You have no way of saying that. So if you want to say on the flip side, then you have no way of saying that you have a connection to that. I'm not going to argue with that. I don't get on here and argue with DNA with people, right? Right now, we could definitely do some work and figure out how we are connected and whom we are connected to, and then do anthropological and archaeological evidence to try to reshape where each person comes from. My concern is
good point.
Because like I told Garfield, my point was to come on and deal with the Exodus. But if you want to play DNA, I'm gonna be honest with you, we can play. And like Ngozi said, the point that I'm making is legit. I'm not telling you that you have to call me a Hebrew. What I'm telling you though is to infer that the only thing that I am is West Africa, when even the brother who you guys say is your most skilled DNA representative admits that West African DNA is a hybrid. I need for us to start being scholastically honest so we can build as a people. Scholastically, it is not honest to.
Hold on one second. Now, what you're doing is, Ngozi, where you are. Now, let me ask you a question. When was the E140, right?
Mm-hmm.
E140 in West Africa?
That mutated, that his branch, that E-M180, which is one of the first branches that peeled off of EM2, developed in West Africa independently around 10,000 years ago in a green Sahara part of West Africa.
Now let me ask you another question. Would it be fair to say 10,000 years ago there was no Hebrew or Israelite in existence?
Oh no, I just told him that. No,
Right.
the Natufians wasn't even Hebrew. No.
Now watch this now. Now, based on the fact that we have the marker of M180 in West Africa, would it be fair to say that this young man right here on the show right now, Anonymous Hebrew, is West Africa?
On the surface now, yes. On the surface, he is West African. He developed a lot of adaptations to those zones. Yes, he is. He's West African descent, mainly.
All right. Now, let me ask you this, Ngozi. If someone mutates, because M180 had to mutate from another haplogroup.
Correct.
If he mutated, doesn't the fact that he mutated to M180 stabilizes him specifically to that region called West Africa? Because
Correct,
that's where the mutation took place.
Yeah, it adapted in those zones. Yes.
All right.
I wanted to.
All right. So now let's look at this now.
Hold on, can I rebut?
Hold on. Let me finish questioning and go.
I mean, can we stay right here? I just want to ask the brother a quick question.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Sit back and wait and listen. Now, let me ask you this now. Would I claim the haplogroup B if I'm M180?
No.
Because why shouldn't I claim the haplogroup B?
Well, first of all, YAP B is YAP negative. Haplogroup Y chromosome B is YAP negative, and it's not your marker. That's an old hunter-gatherer marker. It predates your marker.
But Ngozi, what he's doing is he's spinning you around the world to say, hey, I'm connected over here because these people I found in my DNA, these Europeans and all these different people, I could be these people, but because we can't. What he's using your information because you're so honest with this. He's trying to mix up your information to say, hey, you know what? If you're M180, you're a West African, period. And he can't say that because he has to say that, these people migrated. Of course, people migrated.
Right. And that goes back to what you were saying, Garfield, about autosomal DNA. And this autosomal, it comes from everywhere. So here's the thing. So most haplogroup B carriers are old hunter-gathering populations. Now, paternally, he is not connected. Most people with BM60 or the B clade is the Hadza, Hadza, the Hadza. Those are hunter-gatherers, right? Now, here's the thing. He's not connected to them paternally, but in autosomal DNA, he probably has some, Southeast African hunter-gatherer. Autosomally. You get what I'm saying?
I think what I want to say about DNA, and I'm gonna let the brother say what he has to say when I'm done, is that people are trying to make themselves Israelites.
No, they can't. No. The thing about Israelites is it doesn't really. There is no primary marker for it. It doesn't really exist. But when it comes to what you were saying, you're absolutely correct. You can't make a B or E. But what I'm saying is autosomally, he might have portions of his DNA that's cousins to Hadza groups. Like, for example, you might have 3.2% Southeastern African hunter-gatherer. Then to turn around and say, you get what I'm trying to say? On the surface, autosomally. Or, for example, autosomally, you have 3% Ashkenazi Jew. Even though your paternal marker isn't Ashkenazi Jewish, like most of their markers, which is either J, a branch of E3B, or some R1B. But what I'm saying is that you have 3% of your DNA autosomally is part of or connected to Ashkenazi Jews, which is a blend between Levantine and Central Eastern Europeans that combine together and develop their own cluster. So overall, your paternal marker is overall primarily, West African, developed independently. But when it comes to your autosomal DNA, people are having sex, they leave the babies behind, they turn around and have sex with another person. Like, for example, I like to bring them up again. I keep bringing them up. People not getting it. Puerto Ricans, they could be autosomally 80% Mediterranean European. But the dude might got a Y chromosome that's common with Bantu speakers in Cameroon. You get what I'm saying?
I mean, Rick Kittles is a perfect example.
Yes, Rick Kittles is a perfect example of that. And also the Hausa man, not Hausa, but Hausa. The Hausa are primarily paternally R1BVA8. The oldest basal branch of R1BVA8 is found in Southern Europe with Sardinian and early hunter-gatherers, with Vibrana man. So that shows you that somewhere down the line, around 8,000 years ago, a few hunter-gathering Southern Europeans close to the zones of Iberian Peninsula through Gibraltar, went through the Atlas Mountains, went south of the Sahara, and met up with Chadic speakers. And now today you find these men with R1BVA8, but autosomally, they're mainly, African. The same thing with like the Limba, the Buba clan. The reason why when we put our DNA in J match, it says that we're partially connected to the Limba, because we got to remember autosomally, the Limba are still primarily Bantu. Autosomally, these people are still ranging between 88 to 90% sub-Saharan African. But paternally, the Buba clan with that J marker, then they turned around and found out that they had the T1A marker. That's the portion of them that comes from the Middle East. So it's not sure. It's not.
Hold on. What do you just say, brother? You said the portion of the J marker is what goes to. So how are these black folks running around saying that because the E1V1A they are part of the mark of the Middle East?
No. Here's the trick. Here's the trick, Garfield. When GenMatch match up your data with Limba, it's not basing it off haplogroup. It's basing off your autosomal. Even with the Yemenese Jews, autosomally, they have a large chunk of them that comes from East Africa. And the East African population, like Ethiopian philosophy Jews, have a common gap with Bantu speakers. That autosomally is not based off a haplogroup. That's the thing that's going on with
it. Can I join in the conversation?
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, man.
Appreciate you. So
before you go, hold on 1 second. Before you go, I'm gonna give you a time. Elder Yara, we're gonna talk about the Exodus after this. If you want to join the panel, we could talk about the Exodus together. All right? Because everybody wants to be an Israelite. Come on. Go ahead, my brother. Finish your point. Go ahead.
All right, so let me point this out. I'm gonna say this respectfully. I ain't come on here to claim no Israelite heritage. Like, I don't need to. I can just claim the Bible and say I'm a spiritual Israelite, right?
That's powerful.
Right? I don't need that. I want you to know exactly who you're dealing with. You're not dealing with the cat who's running around doing this. I'm talking about my DNA and what I have. The reason that I like Ngozi is because at least he's honest. He's just spitting facts. The problem I have is we'll say that there is no quote unquote Israelite DNA, and then we'll go to the J marker and give the J marker as though it is the
only
right, like it's the impetus for Israelite DNA. That is inaccurate.
I agree.
There is no Israelite DNA, number one, right? And the only reason we have a J marker for Israelite DNA is because that's where the largest, can I finish? That's where the largest sample size of those who claim to be Jewish or have Jewish heritage, that's their largest sample size of DNA. That's where it comes from, right? So to play the game as though, there is no dark skin or no African people who can have connections to the Levant.
Who said that? Who said that? No. I got to stop you. Who said that?
Not you. If you're saying you didn't say
that, why are you bringing it up?
The same reason you bring up other things that I didn't.
Why are you bringing it up?
The same. Anonymous Hebrew brother. I wanted to say this, man. I'm a rotate, man, and
hold on, stay on it, Ngozi, because I want to point out y'all can talk for 5-10 minutes. I talk for a minute, maybe.
Go ahead, bro. Talk.
I'm just trying to have a conversation, man. Right? It makes it look kind of bad, Garfield. I'm just gonna point that out. So the only point that I'm making is this: some of us do have a connection to that area, and we need to explore how people got to where they are today, because because that's how we get our sample size of genetic material right now. It's based upon where people are today. Do you agree with that, Ngozi, at least?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That's the truth.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so that's
I
my
want to add on something. I want to tell you something too, brother. When you put your raw data in GEDmatch, a lot of your ancestry that linked you to the Middle East is your European ancestry. Because Europeans are not a straight line. They're a combined population as well. They're not homogenous when it comes to there is no pure race when it comes to genetics.
That is my point.
So when you go put your raw data up for your British ancestry, there are fragmented portions of them that comes from pre-Anatolian farmers, which is also part of the ancestors who were responsible for settling in northern Israel that brought the blue-eye gene in those zones 6,000 years ago.
So then basically, it's impossible to say whether or not somebody who has current West African DNA, it's impossible to really say that they wouldn't have any ties to the
European,
to the Levant or to Europe genetically. That's true. Right?
I'm telling you right now.
I'm talking to Ngozi, bro, because he being honest.
I'm telling you, you are E-M180.
Okay. So back to what I was saying.
And your DNA says you go back 17,000 years to West Africa. You can't go around that.
Y'all notice the brother don't want me to talk though, right?
You mutated in West Africa, bro. Why is it you're so obsessed with being a Hebrew? You can't.
I'm obsessed with anything. I'm obsessed
with truth, bro.
Here's what I'm obsessed with. Here's what I'm
180, bro.
Here's what I'm obsessed with. Here's what I'm obsessed with.
You don't like God?
Here's what I'm obsessed with. I'm obsessed with finding out my migration path.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You want to be a Jew. That's all it is. Listen, bro. All right, show me your E-M180 migrating to the Levant. Can you show me that? Show it to me.
So if it's your goal to be rude and disrespectful,
you show me your E-M180.
If it's your goal to be rude and disrespectful to another African, you've accomplished that.
I'm not being rude and disrespectful.
Yeah, you are. You've been extremely rude and disrespectful.
I'm asking.
I haven't come on here and proclaimed Israelite.
Show me all right.
All I did was come on and have a conversation.
You're being defensive now. For what reason, I don't know.
I'm not defensive, bro.
180.
Once again, just like all these other brothers on that channel,
that's all it is, bro.
I just find it weird that you don't want to have a conversation. You want to dominate and over.
I don't want to dominate, bro.
Even right now, bro. We're in the middle of a conversation.
And I ask you,
just like many other people that I deal with on YouTube, and everybody will tell you, fam, when it comes to dealing with me, I try to have the most.
That's fine. Conversation. I don't say about you. I don't
look. Even still, right now, I try to have the most respectful conversations.
Hold on.
I try to conversate, not have a monologue. I try to have a dialogue.
Can I ask you one
about this? I appreciate you for having that conversation, Ngozi. If I could, I would love to reach out to you. You know what I'm saying, so we could build later. Is that cool, fam?
I say, brother. Yes, sir. We can build.
Yeah, appreciate that. Let's move on to the Exodus. You got what you wanted, Garfield.
Before we go though, can you tell us your E-M180 when it went to the Levant? I'm curious.
Can I tell you what?
Can you tell me when your E-M180 went into the Levant? Can you show me?
I don't know all that, bro. I don't know nothing about DNA.
Yeah, all right. No problem.